teachers. So we're a couple of days now, day 2, in our preparation for this upcoming school year. Um, and there's just probably a lot of emotions happening right now. Um, I feel like we're excited at the prospect of seeing our students in person, live in the classroom with us, face to face, not through a screen. Um, I'm feeling very overwhelmed with the enormity of the task of trying to figure out how to teach children in a COVID world and making changes to make that a successful endeavor. Um, we're concerned, quite frankly, I'm concerned about my own safety and health and well being, and the safety and the health and the well being of my family. And on that note, I did ask for some clarification on the COVID sick leave policy because, to be completely transparent, I didn't catch all the information the first time. It's a lot to process. But after talking with district administrators, I felt assured about this policy, and I wanted to share some of my takeaways from those conversations with you and reflections. And I hope that you'll feel some assurance if you're feeling some uncertainty about COVID sick leave. So to reiterate, the sick leave policy, simply because, like I said, it was just a lot for me to take in at once. We do have 10 federally mandated COVID sick leave days. The thing that I keep forgetting, because I keep hearing the number 10, and I'm like, but the quarantine is 14 days. And I keep forgetting, oh yeah, there's 2 weekends in a 14-day period, and that's 4 days that I wouldn't have to use leave on a Saturday and Sunday. And then I thought, but it could possibly work out on the calendar week. What if it starts on a Monday? What if my quarantine had to start on a Tuesday or a Saturday? So no matter how I kind of worked it out on a calendar, no matter where that quarantine, whatever day that started on, I only needed to take 10 days of leave for that. So I don't forget there's weekends, like I did, and I keep forgetting. In addition to that COVID leave, we also have the 10 normal sick days that we have that we normally receive every year. So if I burn that COVID leave with a quarantine, or a family member had to be quarantined and I needed to stay home with them, a child or something, then I would have these 10 days available to me as well. Just kind of on the side, any sick leave days that we don't use roll over toward our retirement, and those banked sick days cannot be used for COVID leave. They could be used for other types of sick leave or extended leave, like a pregnancy or something like that. But for quarantine or COVID related, our retirement days are retirement days. That's our investment toward that goal. So what happens if I've exhausted both my federal sick leave and my normal sick leave? What options, what if I do contract the disease? I'm not asymptomatic. We've all know the scenarios of people that, can take weeks to not have symptoms anymore, to feel better, to be able to return. So, we're thinking about that. Like, what happens if? So there are options. We do have a sick leave sharing program. That's in Section 400 of our negotiated agreement. And if you're unsure how to navigate that, then your PAE rep can explain how the sick leave sharing program works and kind of walk you through that, or at least, at the very least, send you to the right spot in the document, or just email me and ask me, tell me more about this sick leave sharing thing that you're talking about. So that would be used for a individual staff member that needed extended leave. We also have federally mandated FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act. They added a rider to that specifically for COVID related leave if you have family members that you need to take extended time for COVID related illness to care for them. Our district administrators understand that there's no way for them to be able to foresee and to be able to plan for every possible contingency and scenario that could possibly happen in this situation. This virus is very frustrating in the fact that it presents very differently in different people. You may never catch it. You may catch COVID, have that virus, but you're asymptomatic and never feel sick. You might feel a little sick. You might end up in, there's hospitals. Like there's just this huge range of possible scenarios if somebody is positive for COVID. And that's where it gets a little tricky, especially in a district our size where we're trying to come up with a policy that's just going to fit every scenario. There is no such policy. So think of this plan of the federal COVID days, those 10 days plus your 10 sick days, those 20 days. Like, here's our starting point. This is the basic plan. This is where we're going. If something is happening in your life or in your family's life that's COVID related, that's extended beyond those 20, so that's 4 weeks. So beyond that 4-week period of COVID leave and your sick leave, then that's where some other types of scenarios like the sick leave sharing, COVID FMLA, it could just be that the administration just looks at your specific situation and you guys come up with a plan that works best for your situation. Because I'll reiterate again, there's no way to anticipate what that's going to be, and if God forbid that you are so ill that you can't advocate for yourself for that, I hope that you will feel assured that they're not going to start docking your pay just willy-nilly. They're going to be in contact with your family. They're going to be reaching out to you in whatever way that they can, to do whatever they can to help through that situation. So just kind of keep that in mind, that those 20 days that we have, those 4 weeks, that's just kind of like the baseline of what we have for a plan. And that's what we have to be able to present to the whole district, to the hundreds of staff here in Piedmont, that, again, there's just no way to come up with a perfect plan that's going to fit every single person. So that's just our starting point. I do want to reassure you that as a union leader, that I know that our district will take care of us in this situation. So if you are a teacher and you're in that position of, you're concerned about leave, I'm confident that our district wants us to make the choices that are best for us and for our family. And you are not going to be penalized or punished for making those right choices, especially when it comes to preventing the spread of COVID. So feel reassured about that. Also feel reassured that you have allies in every building. You have your PAE building reps and officers. I've attached that list of personnel again for contact information. I know we've been getting a ton of stuff, so I've attached that Google Doc again of that list of names of people that you can express those concerns and questions to. And then oftentimes those get passed to me, and then I can express those and advocate to our administration. So you do have that outlet just to even work through the what if scenarios and well, what about this? And what about this? Keep asking those questions, because there's just no way that any of us can possibly come up with any type of situation. And we'll do our best to reassure you. And I know that our administrators will do their best to reassure you, because sometimes you just need your boss to tell you it's okay, we understand, and they're concerned too. We have to remember that they have their own personal children in this district, and they're in our buildings, and so they have a vested interest in keeping this environment as safe and as healthy for us and for our students. With that said, we do have a responsibility on our end of things. As an individual, I have that responsibility of making sure that when I'm in the building, I'm wearing my mask, which I know I'm not doing right now for this video, but I'm alone in my classroom, and I may be alone in the building. I'm not 100% sure. So there was no need. This is not a situation where I would have to wear my mask. But we are wearing those masks, and not only are we wearing them, but we're wearing them properly. They're covering our nose, they're covering our mouth, the whole thing, So we're, washing our hands, we're refraining from touching our faces like I just did. And more importantly, we're following the procedures and protocols that our district is presenting to us over these next few days, and we're following them exactly. I know we're all feeling a little COVID exhausted right now, and it's a lot, but this is what we need to do. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we're following through on that. This is not the time to be creative and innovative and to take liberties with interpretations of this. So if there's any clarity or clarifications that need to be made about procedures and protocols, ask administrators in your building for that clarification, because it's critical for your safety that we're following this. If you still feel like you have concerns or questions, contact your building reps, email me, talk to your principals, ask the questions. There's no need to hold on to the anxiety, because let's be honest, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And that's just, unfortunately, the environment that we have. So we do what we can. And so if there's anything that I can do to help with that, relieve some of that anxiety, I want to do that. Your principals want to do that. And our administrators want to do that as well. So just, you can do this. You can do this. And I know that we'll persevere through this as the amazing educators that we are.